In September 1971, the world witnessed one of the bloodiest and most significant episodes in the history of the United States prison system. At Attica State Prison, located in the state of New York, thousands of prisoners rebelled against the inhumane conditions to which they were subjected, starting one of the largest and most violent riots ever recorded in the country. This is the account of the Attica Revolt. Historical context. In the 1970s, the United States prison system was facing a crisis. Prisons were crowded, conditions were inhumane, and prisoners, most of whom were African American and Latino, suffered from violence, lack of adequate food, and disrespectful treatment. In Attica Prison, the situation was even worse. Detainees were forced to live with constant abuse and a severe lack of basic rights. The start of the mutiny. On September 9, 1971, after a fight between prisoners and guards, the accumulated tension finally exploded. Around 1,200 prisoners took control of part of the prison, including the central courtyard, and took 42 hostages, including guards and staff. They had a clear message: it was time to fight for better living conditions and dignity. The prisoners' demands. The inmates quickly formed a negotiating committee and listed their demands. They demanded better hygiene conditions, adequate food, religious freedom, and fair wages for work carried out inside the prison. They also called for an end to police brutality within Attica and amnesty for acts committed during the rebellion. To ensure their voices were heard, they requested the presence of public figures, journalists, and civil rights lawyers. Negotiation attempts. Over the next 4 days, negotiations were tense but promising. The prisoners' demands were being discussed, and there was hope for a peaceful resolution. However, New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller refused to visit the prison and, instead of negotiating, opted for a more radical approach. The violent ending. On September 13, 1971, the decision was made. The authorities decided to storm the prison with military force. Armed troops, helicopters and tear gas were used to regain control of Attica. The operation was brutal. In the end, 43 people were killed, including 33 prisoners and 10 hostages. Many of the hostages were killed by the police themselves, in a tragic mistake that authorities initially tried to hide. Consequences and legacy. The Attica Revolt left a deep mark on the United States. The brutality with which the riot was put down sparked outrage across the country and exposed the flaws in the prison system. Investigations revealed that many prisoners had been killed even after surrendering, and the authorities' excessive use of force was widely criticized. Attica became a symbol of the fight for prisoners' rights and reform of the American prison system. Conclusion. More than 50 years later, the Attica Uprising remains a reminder of the power of resistance, the fight for justice and the price that is paid when authorities respond with unrestrained violence. This is a dark chapter in American history, but it is crucial to understanding the continued need for prison reform. Did you already know this story? Leave your comment. If you liked this video and want to know more about stories that changed the course of history, like the video, subscribe to the Just for Curiosity channel and activate the bell to receive notifications of our upcoming content.